Hi there, Michael King from the Cosmosis Mentoring Centre again to have a bit of a chat today about some understanding around recognising whether or not you are in an abusive relationship. There's a generally accepted school of thought which states that every person has that special person out there that they're destined to be with. The idea is that humans are social beings which have the need to be loved and to love. While this may or may not be true for everyone, we cannot discount the fact that there are individuals who have a very strong need in life to find that special someone, and this is wonderful and perfect for them. Whilst this is perfectly natural, we also have to be realistic and admit that there are relationships which are not healthy for both partners involved. There are abusive relationships which can only bring harm to both parties. So, how do you determine if you are in an abusive relationship? Well, the willingness to recognise that you may be in an abusive relationship is the first step to understanding what one is. You've got to end your denial that there's no chance you could be in an abusive relationship. That's the first step. If you're constantly defending your partner no matter how you are treated, then you will not be able to acknowledge if your relationship is destructive or not. So objectivity is the first step, and you have to accept that if your relationship is abusive, then you may have to get away from that abusive relationship, or at least both of you need some professional help. There's lots of signs that will show you that you are in an abusive relationship. Before we go through those signs though, let's define the term abusive relationship. What does that actually mean? Abusive relationships are characterised by many things, including extreme jealousy, emotional manipulation, verbal, emotional or physical abuse, infidelity, and so on. Often people immediately associate abuse with physical damage, and while abuse can be very physical, it's important to understand that many signs of an abusive relationship may not be physical at all. So you are in a relationship and you think that it might be an abusive one. How can you tell? Here is a quick checklist of questions you can ask yourself. By no means is it an exhaustive list of signs, but if you can identify with several of them, you might want to talk things over with trusted friends or seek the help of a professional counsellor. Even better, you might want to seek professional help together. That would be ideal. Is your partner overly possessive and jealous? It's part of the base human nature to feel a little jealousy every now and then. People tend to feel possessive about their partners. If the jealousy and possessiveness reaches a point where your partner does not agree with you interacting with other people, whether they are friends or family, then it might be a sign of an abusive, controlling relationship. When you find yourself being socially isolated due to pressure from your partner, warning bells should be going off for you. Is your partner overly controlling? This is in direct relation with the first question. In one sense, your partner is controlling you with his/her jealousy by isolating you from other friends and family members. Other ways a person can control the other in a relationship is through finances, access to assets and resources, and demands regarding time. If your partner demands all of your attention practically all the time, then that might be a sign of an abusive relationship. Does your partner try to manipulate you into doing things his/her way all the time? Manipulation is another way of control. Manipulation is more covert though. The classic example is the abusive partner turning the tables on the other, making the abused think that he/she is the one at fault. This is a matter of emotional manipulation most of the time, as opposed to physical abuse. One example would be if your partner makes promises to placate you and then ends up breaking those promises all the time. Does your partner have regular and extreme mood swings? This is another problem. One moment your partner is happy, loving and sweet. The next few hours he or she will be all over the place arguing with you, maybe getting verbally abusive, swearing and insulting and degrading you, or perhaps even throwing things around. Mood swings are something you really have to look out for. The next day your partner is apologetic and promises not to do it again. Once or twice is understandable. But if this is a pattern in your relationship, you have to think long and hard, because this is a strong indicator of an abusive tendency in the relationship. Does your partner show disrespect towards you even in public? Now, some people have kind of a dry, weird sense of humour. Some people are very sarcastic. Some have a sense of humour that can hurt others. If this sense of humour, in inverted commas, reaches the point wherein you are degraded regularly, whether in private or in public, then you ought to examine your relationship and what it's doing to you being with that person. Now, this is by no means a conclusive list, but it's just food for contemplation. If you're experiencing any doubts, do not hesitate to seek professional help. There's lots of people out there who can help you with this. An abusive relationship is not something that you want to stay in, even if you think otherwise right now. After all, if you're watching this video, it means that there's at least a small part of you that senses something might be wrong. I hope your life in future moments is full of harmony and joy, and perhaps we will see you sometime soon at one of our Cosmosis transformational events. It'd be lovely to meet you sometime. Keep on loving.